Hey everyone, welcome to the video. This is where I go over some of my favorite plays for the 5-game NBA slate for today on Draftkings. And before we continue, if you could leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. And if you want to check out any of my NFL content before the NFL games start, which you probably won't have much time, maybe an hour or two, check them out. They're in my, I got my lineup building video, my core plays video, and then my first look video I posted on Monday, which is probably pretty out of date at this moment, but still, it's there if you want it. And if you want my spreadsheets about every single night for the NBA season, links in the description below for my Patreon. You can follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I say we get right into the video. So I'm going to give you guys 3 spend ups I like and then some value options because I'm not too in love with anyone in the mid-range at the moment, but we'll figure that out as the day goes on. But let's start off with my favorite spend up, and we got Russell Westbrook at 9,100. And I don't know why his price went down. It makes no sense to me. It was at 9,800, had another really solid outing at 57 fantasy points. And then his price goes all the way down to 9,100. I don't know why DraftKings refuses to price him where he should be, like in the 10K range. Not that I'm complaining or anything, I just don't understand it. But hey, I'll take advantage of it as long as I can. So let's just continue to load him up at this price tag with his nightly triple-double upside. He's averaging nearly one right now. He has 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 9.8 assists. So he's 0.2 off a triple-double at this moment. And yeah, his price came down. I just don't understand. On the year, his game log is 62, 65, 50, 56, 57. It's pretty darn good. And even though his usage is down to 27% playing alongside James Harden this season, it really hasn't mattered and it really hasn't affected him too much. And he's actually been a better per minute fantasy producer than Harden has this year, as Westbrook is sitting at over 1.6 fantasy points per minute compared to Harden's 1.5. And also, this game has the highest total in the slate at 224, and both teams have played very fast this year. And actually, Houston's played at the 4th fastest pace, and Miami the 5th fastest pace. So I do love the game environment here. Russell Westbrook should continue to flirt with the triple-double. Wouldn't surprise me if he got one. He's already got 2 in the season. So Russell Westbrook, I think we can continue to load him up with that nice price tag of 9,100. And it's a close spread, too. I believe it's a 3-point spread. High Vegas total. Should be pretty back and forth. I like Russell Westbrook here. And then next I like is LeBron James at 9,300, so not that expensive either. And I promise I'm not just point chasing here. I just like his price with the upside he offers. I know he's coming off that 92-point outing, but that won't happen again. If it does, I won't complain if it happens again. But I just don't expect it to happen again all season. But I still think there's plenty of upside here. San Antonio has not been great versus opposing guards this season, and LeBron, he's pretty much the point guard now at this point, and he owns a 32% usage rate on the year. And also defenses can't just key on him with the presence of Anthony Davis now to help take pressure off of LBJ. He's averaging 26 points, 10 assists, and 7 boards per game, and he's already taken on really taken on his new role as a distributor. Taking it on very well. As you can see, he's already has double-digit assist numbers averaging so far this season. And on the year, he's averaging nearly 35 minutes per game and 1.6 fantasy points per minute. So do the math on there for the projection. Should be a pretty solid projection there with only a price tag of 9,300. So I do think he's a pretty nice value comparatively to some of these other studs. And I think he's just a tad bit too cheap here, so I don't mind loading up on some LeBron as well. So kind of with Westbrook, I think they're just a little bit too cheap here with the upside they offer. Now Westbrook has been more consistent than LeBron because we've seen some pretty bad games from LeBron so far this season. I mean, we have 92. Obviously, that's outstanding. 37 points sucks. 47 points, that kind of sucks for 900. 59 points we will take. Then 46 points is disappointing. So, you get... he's kind of been on and off, but I think he should be fine. He should be able to get you over 50 fantasy points here. So I do like LeBron at 9,300. Then the last guy I want to talk about, which I'm always going to talk about in every single slate that he's on, and it's going to be James Harden at 10,600. I know he's the most expensive guy on the slate, but it's for a good reason. And like I'll say it every slate. I don't care the matchup or the price, but James Harden will always be a top flip play for me. I mean, he's still putting up big fantasy days while being completely broke from 3, and that's where we get most of his upside from. He shot 2 for 16 from the field last game and 10 for 31 from the field in general, and he still came up with over 50 fantasy points. That's pretty hard to do. He's a career 36% 3-point shooter and is shooting 17.5% right now. Just think about that, 17.5% from 3 right now. So he's half off his just career average. So I don't know about you guys, but it sounds like he's due for some positive regression. And I mean, he's shooting so bad right now, and that just won't continue. He's going to continue to shoot threes at a high volume, and when he's hitting, it's game over for faders, as we saw 2 games ago, where he dropped over 70 fantasy points. He had 59 real-life points, and he shot 42% from 3. And And always you're guaranteed like 15 or so points from the free throw line because of all the foul calls he draws. He's so good at drawing foul calls when he drives, and just 3-pointers as well. He owns a massive 39% usage rate, playing alongside Russ, and he's at a 1.5 fantasy points per minute right now with the awful shooting. So I do expect that to come up, and when it does, he's gonna have some pretty big fantasy games like he did versus Washington, where he scored 79 fantasy points. And like I said, I like this game. We got a high pace and highest total of the slate. So James Harden, yeah, of course I like him. I always feel comfortable paying up for James Harden. I mean, if he can shoot 12% from 3 and still give me 52 fantasy points, I will take that. It just is insane upside. And he's not just scoring dependent either. He racks up the assists. He gets some rebounds. The rebounds have come down a lot this year playing alongside Russell Westbrook, so he has taken a hit there, but the assists are still there. So I do like James Harden a lot. I mean, if he's hitting his threes, we're in for a huge game. I mean, it never surprises me when James Harden gets over 70 fantasy points. I mean, if other people get over 70 fantasy points, you're like, okay, that's pretty awesome. When James Harden does it, it really doesn't faze you because that's just what he does. I mean, he's going to shoot the ball a ton. He's got a massive usage rate. He plays a ton of minutes, like pretty much 37 minutes per game. He's chucking threes all game. He gets to the free throw line. So James Harden, he makes a ton of sense for me. He doesn't miss more than one free throw in a game so far this season. So James Harden, you can load him up. So now we got to look at some value options, and I think a logical place to look right now is Frank Ntilikina at 3,100. He's very, very cheap. And so let's get into this. So it's basically just a lack of options for the Knicks. Dennis Smith is dealing with a personal issue, and he's listed as questionable. So we'll see if he plays. If he does, it'll hurt him a little bit, but still, I think it'll be a viable option. And then Elfrid Payton is out, so that really just leaves Frank here to take over, depending on what Dennis Smith does. Now, he barely played in the beginning of the year, but he has averaged nearly 30 minutes a game recently, and he even saw 38 minutes last game. Now, that was with Smith out as well, so we're not sure what Smith's going to do. And but I think he's still going to be fine. Now, he's not going to set the world on fire. He only has a 13% usage rate on the year, and he's at a half a point per minute. But if he sees over 30 minutes, that's really all we need as near bare minimum price tag. So give me 15 to 20 points, and I'll be happy because he's going to let me fit in guys like James Harden, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, or Russell Westbrook, those kind of guys. Which I should say, I do like Luka. I don't think he's a bad play either. I just want to list 5 superstars I like. So I think if you want to play Luka, that's fine. I just prefer LeBron, Russell, and James Harden as of right now. But Frank Ntilikina, I think he's a fine option at 3,100. I expect him to be popular as long as Dennis Smith's out. Even so, I think he's still a fine value. And then the next guy I want to talk about is, unfortunately, and I'm really starting to hate this guy, Eric Gordon at 4,100. I don't know if I just enjoy pain or watching people brick threes, but I feel like I want to play him again. He's pretty much been scoring dependent, and that's been a problem this season, especially last game where he was 0 for 7 from the field. Because when a guy's scoring dependent and he can't score, that's usually a problem. But if this guy can just knock down some threes like he's capable of doing, I love his price tag. And this is my favorite game of the slate, so obviously I want pieces from it. He's seeing big minutes, over 30 minutes per game, but he's been awful. 0.49 fantasy points per minute, which that sucks. Still, I think he can get us 20 fantasy points as long as he can start hitting. Now, that's been a problem so far, so I guess we can't totally bank on it. So I guess he's a riskier play than he should be. But I like the minutes there. I like the game. If he can hit some threes, we'll take it. I mean, he's had 3 okay games for his price. Well, I guess the 2 games he was priced up a little bit. 4,600, he got 20. 4,700, he got 16. When he was 3,900, he got 19. And then 7 at 4K, that sucks. But Eric Gordon, I think he's in play. He's just got to hit his shots, which I'm not totally sure he's going to be able to do so. But if he does, 4,100, I think is a pretty good price tag for him. Next thing I want to talk about is Dwight Powell at 3,500. So he's listed as a center. And Maxi Kleber, whatever it is, he's questionable, which would open, I think, knee soreness, which would open up some more minutes for guys on Dallas, most notably, Dwight Powell, maybe DFS, so we'll see. But he did see his minutes rise all the way up to 25 last game, as they were supposed to just wean him in, but, got 25 minutes, so we'll take that if he can do it again. And he could possibly see something around 30 if Maxey ends up being out. In a very limited time this year, he's got a 20% usage rate and 0.71 fantasy points per minute. He's really cheap. If he can see minutes near 30, I will take that. It's a pretty decent matchup versus Cleveland. So 3,500, I will take that. And he lets me fit in some of the studs I like on this slate. So Dwight Powell, I think it makes sense. He's grading out as a pretty good value as of right now, even with Maxey playing. And then another Maverick, we have Dorian Finney-Smith at, I believe he's 3,200, so he's very cheap. So there's a lot of good, really cheap options. So it's probably pretty easy to fit in 3 studs today. We'll see what kind of value opens up during the day. But yeah, he continues to see big minutes for his price tag. He's averaging 27 minutes per game, and honestly, he's been a solid points per minute kind of guy so far this season. 0.74 points per minute, and again, he can see a slight boost with Maxey out. And as of right now, I got him for around 28 minutes with, I guess, upside of more, which would more. And if he can get anywhere from 25, 28, 30 minutes, that should likely net us around 20 fantasy points, which I will take at this price all day. It's a good matchup versus Cleveland as well. So Dorian Finney-Smith, I think he makes sense. I think he's gonna end up having some ownership. It's a small slate, and definitely want to go stars and scrubs on this slate. So do like DFS, and if there's some mid-range options, I will add that onto my sheet later. But as of right now, this is what I got. Now things can change throughout the day. Yesterday's slate was a dumpster fire. Whole bunch of news came out, and D'Angelo Russell was ruled out, and then everyone was getting ruled out. So it was a mess. So hopefully you guys survived that trash last night. But anyway, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to go enjoy some football today. I hope you guys enjoyed some too. Hopefully your lineups do well. And I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video.